Hey guys, my name is Morgan and welcome to today's video. Today I'd like to take you guys through a full garden tour, so without further ado, let's get straight into it. So before we get into all of that, let's move over to this side to the compost bays. So here I have some compost bays. They are really massive and they are almost full. I have a mixture of grass clippings and some leaves and garden scraps in this one, and this one is mostly leaves. I think probably from around down here all the way to the bottom is just leaves, and then I've recently added some grass clippings and some lettuce and some kitchen scraps as well. So these two bays are probably going to be going through the whole of summer because we're getting nice and warm now. The compost bay is also warming up, and that's going to hopefully give us a beautiful result at the end of the season. And then during the winter, I will then incorporate that compost back into the garden. And this one little bay is just horse manure compost. I use this if I can see the soil is really bare and there is nothing going on and I do need to add some organic matter. Those compost bays over there are still a little bit fresh. I don't really want to be using that right now. I still want it to break down a bit, but this has broken down a decent amount since I made this bay, so I am using this at the moment for a couple of places that are really bare. Moving over to this side, I want to speak pretty heavily on my tomatoes and a few things that I've learned, and maybe some things I've done wrong or some things I've done right. I'm not too sure. Let me know in the comments what do you think. But from what I can see, these tomatoes on this side are a lot more burnt and kind of crispy, or they're kind of soggy now because we just had some rain, but they are like brown and crispy. And then coming to this side, these tomatoes still seem pretty fun. They still have, oh, not a lot of flowers, but they still have some nice green growth, and there are some nice full trusses coming over here. And what I'm thinking is, because the sun rises over there and comes over, and as soon as it hits this tree, these tomato plants don't get any more sun, but these experience the sun full blast all the way over until there. So that's what I'm thinking. Maybe these ones, because they've been in this direct sun, they're going all brown and crispy. There are some brown stems. I'm also still trying to figure out what that is. I've done a bunch of research, but everything is telling me different things, so I'm really not sure. Could be a deficiency. I think it could be a calcium deficiency, so I'll have to do some research in that and hopefully do something about that, because that is really not good if I have a deficiency in my soil, because no matter how much sun or no matter how little sun I get, if there's a deficiency, they're not going to do well. So here I have some more that I just planted in, and they have finally established. You can see there's some new growth coming over there. These ones were blown over by the wind. You can see it snapped off right there. Tomatoes are looking pretty fine. I'm going to be leaving them on here. Hopefully they can at least ripen, and I'm also hoping that these can kind of just carry on growing up. So we'll see how that goes. Here as well, you can see I'm really not sure. I'm really not sure. I'm sure that it's got to be a deficiency of some sort, because it's hard. It's not like it's rotting or anything. It's just not ripening properly. It's just not forming properly. So I'm not too sure. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Just going to go over the newly installed pine needle path over here. Here I have another tomato bed that has some lettuce that I'm leaving to go to flower, because they are extremely beautiful and they attract a ton of pollinators, and hopefully going to also attract some beneficials. So that can then hopefully increase the pest pressure and get rid of some caterpillars that I have been noticing around here. So yeah, here's another bed of tomatoes, and these tomatoes are actually looking really nice. There's a nice big one in there as well. Also have this kind of browning and brown stem. You can see that stem over there is really brown, so maybe it's the deficiency thing. I did recently add the shade cloth, so I still need to wait a little bit before I can really see some difference between the before and after from adding the shade cloth. But there's a lot more sizable tomatoes there. They're not as, these ones went brown very quickly, so the tomatoes didn't really size up. But these ones are looking a little bit better, and I do have a little bit more of a full truss going on. Like here you can see there's a bunch of tomatoes all together, like, oi. Those ones there kind of had maybe like 1 or 2 per truss. These ones have got like 3 or 4. So I'm hoping that this shade cloth is going to then help them with the heat, because apparently I've done some research and the tomato plants drop their flowers when they stress, and the biggest cause of stress is heat. And I've found out that the best growing temperature for tomatoes is between, I think, a 16 and 24. So here where it's getting like 30 degrees, it's really dangerous for these tomatoes because they are stressing a lot and they're dropping their flowers. So I'm hoping that with the shade cloth, these trusses should stay full. So I'm really hoping that that is going to have a good difference. And moving right over here, you can see as well, tomatoes are looking a lot better. Oh, there's one that's busy ripening down over there. Very, very pretty. These are tomatoes that I got as seedlings, and then from here, those are ones that I started from seed. So it is a different variety. They're both slicing varieties. But yeah, you can see trusses are full. Trusses are full. And they are looking a little bit better with regards to the browning. They do have this brown stem thing, and they do have some brown leaves, but they're looking more or less better than the other ones. So that's hopefully going to give me a little bit of a better harvest. They haven't started setting fruit yet because I did plant them a little bit later, because I started them from seed the same time that I planted the seedlings. So they are a little bit behind, but hopefully they'll do just as well. There's a nice full truss there as well. So they are looking pretty alright. This one I did add the shade cloth a lot sooner, so I'm hoping that, oh, you see, look here, look at these caterpillars. This is what I need to try and get some pest pressure in with those flowers. I'm hoping I can draw some beneficials in. So yeah, and I am organic, so I'm not going to be spraying anything with pesticides and whatnot to get rid of these caterpillars. I'll either have to just come by hand and remove whatever I can, or I'm going to have to attract some beneficials to hopefully get rid of these caterpillars that do come every now and again. And here I have some more tomatoes, and here you can see these ones are being attacked by the caterpillars. There's one on here right now. So disappointing. Spend all this time and then caterpillar comes along and just makes a hole in it, and it absolutely destroys it. So yeah, here's another one. Crazy. This is another bed of tomatoes, and this shade cloth is going to be adjusted. I need to get more reeds, and then I am going to be doing the same setup there over here, because it is touching and I don't really want it to be touching, and yeah, it is kind of small compared to how it should be. So I am going to be upgrading this little system once I have more of these reeds. But nonetheless, I do have a few pretty healthy looking tomatoes, and the plants are also looking really healthy. And these ones that are inside here are also looking really, really beautiful. Now that I've added this shade cloth, I can definitely see that they are doing a little bit better. They're not browning and they're not burning as much as what they did before I added them. So there you can see it's browned quite a bit there at the bottom, and now that I've added the shade cloth, that's what it looks like now. So it looks a little bit better. I'm really hoping that it's going to make a good difference. And here as well, I have some more tomatoes. This is a Heinz OP variety, and I did get the seedlings when they were incredibly long, and I planted like half of the stem under the ground. So I do know that they are quite long, and I'm kind of doing my test where I leave them and hopefully let them grow along the surface, and they'll make roots under here, and then the plant will carry on growing up, because it's going to be a huge effort to try and trellis this entire thing because it is absolutely massive. So I am going to just leave them and let them be. They seem to be doing really well. There's some beautiful growth, some nice flowers coming in there as well. So kind of letting this bed go wild and just see what happens, because they are incredibly long and they are a little bit fragile. I've had some snap while I was working with them, trying to do a little bit of maintenance and trimming off all kinds of things. So I'm kind of just leaving them. I don't really want to mess with them too much, but they are looking really good nonetheless. And coming over here, I had a huge amount of lettuce here. I did a harvest just the other day. They were just like this, and I just pull down any of the leaves that are kind of burnt like this over there, and then I harvest. There's my harvest. Beautiful lettuce leaf. So yeah, I'm going to be harvesting the rest of this probably within the... Oh, look at this. Oh, that's so cute. Oh my goodness, that is so adorable. What? Yeah, so I am going to be harvesting this within the next couple of days maybe, because as soon as they start making stems like that, then the flavor of the lettuce is hindered and it kind of makes them a little bit more bitter because they're taking the energy from the leaves into the flower. So I'm just on time here, almost a little bit too late from harvesting. So yeah, I am going to be taking these out very shortly. And then in this tire over here, I have some street cutter marigolds. Very, very cool. I did a transplanting the other day because they were definitely in need for a transplant, roots everywhere. So yeah, I'm hoping that these ones are going to, both of these have flowered recently and this one has flowered recently, so it looks like they are doing really well. This one is going to make seeds soon, so they seem to be pretty happy in here. And then here as well, I have a tomato that I had extra and I just plopped it in there and it's working really well. And then I have some alyssum going around the borders here. I do have some beans. I did throw in some beans here as well. This bed is kind of like everything and anything. And then here I have a bell pepper plant that was damaged when we cut this tree over here. A huge branch fell over and broke off all the leaves and all the bell peppers. So I'm really hoping that this one comes back. This is I think it's 2 years old now. It's overwintered from last year, so it's the whole of last year, and we're almost at the end of this year, so it's around about 2 years. And there is some new growth coming in over there, so I'm really hoping that this plant is going to be fine. And then again, more tomatoes. This entire bed is full of tomatoes, and I do have some nice trusses going on there, but again, there's no shade cloth over these. They do not have any protection from the sun, so a lot of them are getting damaged and a lot of them are getting eaten and whatnot as well. Here you can see there's another caterpillar on there. There's so many of these things, and being organic, it's really difficult to get rid of these without using a pesticide. So yeah, I'm kind of just hoping that they will ripen as many as they can and they'll be good, and that's going to be it for tomatoes because it really gets too hot here. And I'm going to try and move to bell peppers or butternut or something that's a little bit more heat tolerant. So this is probably going to be the last of the tomatoes. It's really, really difficult to grow. One thing I do want to mention though, I did recently plant these tomatoes in here, and I saved these from suckers from those plants over there, and I planted them here after they had rooted in some compost that I started on my seedling tray, and they're looking really, really beautiful. I do have some organic growth fertilizer. I've got some of the hydrofras and the powerfras in this bed over here, looking really, really amazing. And something that I do want to mention as well is I think that because I've planted the ones in the previous beds very close together, I'm thinking that that is also a very big factor because of all of the pest pressure that I'm having and all of the caterpillars. I'm thinking Mother Nature is like, whoa, you've got them way too close together, we need to space them out. And she's like, okay, we need to get rid of some. And then caterpillars and all kinds of things are coming along. So I think they're also planted really close together because these ones are looking really amazing with this spacing, and the ones that are in that other bed are a lot closer together. I think I've planted like maybe 10 centimeters in the other bed, so really close together. I did want to try and grow as much as I can in as little space as I can, and I think that was a very big mistake. And here I have another Nodig bed that's got some lettuce in, and I am going to be taking this lettuce out because this is actually lettuce that I grew from my own seed, and for some reason they didn't do as well as the lettuce I got from seedlings. So they are shooting up, making some flowers. There's one coming up over here, but the overall lettuce quality is really not as good as what I thought it was going to be. So yeah, not going to be harvesting anything from here because they are mostly looking like that. So yeah, I'm going to get rid of this, and then there's going to be some new plants, bell peppers, hopefully some chilies, maybe some butternut. Definitely going to be moving on to a lot more hardier plants. And speaking of butternut, here I have my butternut squash that I started from seed. I actually got the seeds from my mother when she was busy in the kitchen making some butternut, and I was like, I want those seeds. So I got the seeds and I started them, and here you can see there are some butternut on the way. I have had some break off. I have had some of the butternut that was actually really big. For some reason they just broke off, and I did have one of my viewers contact me and say that it's probably because of premature flowering. So I'm hoping that they're going to establish a little bit better and not break off. There you can see there's where it broke off. So disappointing. It's really disappointing, and it's not like it's rotting or it's soft or anything. It's like still perfectly fine. It just started going wrinkly and fell off. So not really too happy about that, but I'm hoping that these other ones are going to stay, because look at the size of these ones, and they haven't even opened flowers yet. So I'm hoping that they're going to do a little bit better. I'm also leaving some of them on the ground because I can't even lift this one anymore because there's roots coming out from over there and coming out from over there. So I'm going to be leaving some of them to crawl. I've got some of them climbing. We're going to see how it goes. This is all a big testing time. You can see there's some more butternut coming over there. So yeah, all of these from seed. These are also some butternut squash that I started from seed, and I used some of the organic grow fertilizer again to get them going because they were yellow. They were like crazy yellow, and I thought there's nothing better than the organic grow fertilizer to get these things up and running again. And here you can see they're already starting to creep around, and they're doing really amazing. And here I have the Giza drip tray seeding table. I have some tomatoes over here, and then I have a cactus from my girlfriend. I have this from the street as well, looking really pretty. And then I have some more tomatoes here that I started from suckers, but I left them in here for too long, so I am just going to be composting this. I don't think they're going to be growing much more than that. Same with these ones over here. These ones I am still going to plant out. Hopefully they'll do just as well as the others, because they're also suckers from the tomatoes over there. And here I have a watermelon, and then I have some Carolina Reapers, and I just now saw that I have a flower on the way. That is absolutely crazy. I'm so excited. So excited. That is so cool. Look at all of them here. I didn't even notice any of these. That is so cool. Yeah, I have some more Carolina Reapers over here as well. So yeah, this drip tray is working really amazing to automatically water all of my little plants that I have in here as well. I did build this entire bench over here, so if you'd like to see that video, I'll put the link in the description. And before we exit the bottom of the garden, I do have this trampoline trellis, and I am trying to get a video out, but we're having some technical issues with the computer. For some reason it's not wanting to start up, and I have all my footage on there. So I do want to get this video out as soon as possible, but I'm really battling to get my footage back. So yeah, I do have a video coming, so stay tuned for the trampoline trellis video. Here is another very exciting part of the garden. Got strawberries, first time ever growing strawberries, and they are looking really amazing. I have been harvesting a ton from here. So yeah, and they are so soft, so sweet, so delicious. Really, there is nothing better than a field warm, fresh homegrown strawberry. It's absolutely amazing. Here I have some volunteer peppers. I don't know what peppers these are. They literally just came up from the middle of nowhere, and they've been growing pretty fine, so kind of gonna let them grow in here, see what happens. If they start creating too much shade, I will remove them, because strawberries are a lot more important than some volunteer pepper. But I am curious to see what it is and how well it is doing, because they are planted right next to each other because they came up by themselves. I didn't plant them like this. So we'll see if they do well. Maybe peppers are going to be the next thing. Maybe that's going to be what I'm supposed to grow instead of the tomatoes and the lettuce. So we'll see. But strawberry bath looking really amazing. And here I have the 500-liter water storage system. Also looking really good, nice and full from all the rain that we had yesterday. And I do have these extra drums just to catch whatever water comes out of the overflow. And also really cool just to have a extra amount of water plus the 500 liters that these two bins give off here. So I think there's probably around 650-700 liters if you include these three all together. I'm sure it's around there. Really amazing, beautiful addition to an organic garden, basically having organic water because the water is coming from the rain and not from the tap. So yeah, looking really cool. Now coming around to the corner garden, more tomatoes that I started from seed, and they are actually looking really good. And I think that's because they're not getting as much sun as everything else, because again in the summer sun comes up there, goes around, and boom, it hits the house. And there's still, if you look around here, there's still a lot of space where that sun can still be shining, but because of the house it blocks off a lot of that sun. And I think that's actually a very good thing, because of the tomatoes battling with the heat. Maybe having less hours of sunlight is making them do a little bit better, because I only have a tiny bit of this browning going on. So I'm really hoping that that's going to be the reason, because then the shade cloth is definitely going to work, because they are a 40 to 50% reducing shade cloth. So that's going to be really cool. And this bed right here I also refer to as the Mother Nature bed, because I literally just threw a bunch of seeds on the ground and I went over it with a hard rake, and the seeds have started coming up. They've got some true leaves already, looking really amazing, because what I've thought of is planting them perfectly spaced, trellising them up, all kinds of care, pruning, all kinds of work putting into it, and then I get results with caterpillars all over my tomatoes. So I'm thinking, what if I just leave it up to Mother Nature? Plant them where they want to be planted, throw the seeds down, whatever comes up, and we'll see what happens. So that's this bed. It's kind of also a test bed. I'm going to see how it goes. I'm not sure if it's going to work, because it's still going to be the same soil requirements, still going to be the same sun. So we'll see how it goes. Maybe starting them from seed in the ground makes them stronger. We'll see. But coming down here, I have some more. These are Italian sweet peppers, and I also started them from seed, looking really amazing. And I do have some more over here as well, and you can see space them out really well. I've got some lots of space between them, because I'm not looking forward to having more issues like that. Those are just tested tomatoes. I don't really care about those ones. Bell peppers is what the bell peppers and the Italian sweet peppers, I think those two rows are bell peppers, but here's Italian, there's Italian. So I'm hoping that these do well, because I've spaced them so far apart. So we'll see how that goes. More lettuce, need to do a harvest before they start making these flowers up top here. Really beautiful though, but I do need to try and get that sorted out. I did do a harvest from those bricks all the way there, so yeah, I'm hoping I can get a few more bags done, and if not, it's not too bad, because it's only this that's left from the entire garden that I had. So if I can get some done, cool. If I can't, I do have some more seeds all the way along here. These are tomato seeds, and here I have some bell pepper seeds. So that's also going to be something really exciting. Stay tuned if you want to see the results. I have a highlight going on my Instagram, so if you'd like to check that out, then you can keep up to date with these seeds, with those seeds, with the entire garden as well. So there we go, that is the full garden tour. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, and until next time, have a wonderful day and stay active in the garden.